You're such an asshole.
So Dre must be bored over in Asia. He sent me 2 requests. I'm going to do request number 2 first. Dre writes, greetings, Carlson, famous 25% kosher alumni. Request 2, do an updated version of your video, the toughest life question Cappy had to answer. Did your opinion change? If so, for the better or the worse? And I kind of remember the original one. And I watched it again, and no, my opinion didn't change, and it's not better or worse. Uh, because one, it's the same problem, but two, it was all in the past. Nothing's really changed, and it already did the damage that it did. So, for the benefit of the audience, the toughest life question I had to answer, that the video is one of my more popular ones. It was trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and I kept misdiagnosing the problem because while it's exceptionally rare, it can happen that society is wrong and the individual is right, with crazes and socialism and hey, let's make everything free. And humans are herd mentality, and especially look back in the backdrop. Now, I'm sure humanity's always been this to a certain level, but you notice I keep talking about popularity as a mind virus. That had very fertile ground to become not even a religion, a cult in American education system, and probably still to this day, where that was the thing, man. You had to be popular. Forget whether you were right or wrong. You had to be popular. And in the past, things like saber-toothed tigers and cold and plague would make sure that we as humans didn't get too full of ourselves and start, for lack of a better description, worshiping false gods and pursuing false gods. But we had it pretty good back in the 80s and the 90s. You were allowed to say, well, you're not wearing a blue shirt, and we hate you because you're not wearing a blue shirt. And that, especially you throw in the media. I'm sorry, Democrat policies, Democrat Party, socialism. Wouldn't it be nice to have free shit? The big lie that the way you were born is the most important thing about you. Women are just these amazing creatures because they don't have a stick, they got a hole. Do you remember environmentalism? Oh, we care about this environment, we care about that thing. That goes all virtue signaling, right? And you're all wrong. Everyone was wrong about it. Damn near everything. Damn near everything. And hell, it's where the phrase "the red pill" comes from in the Matrix. It's the blue pill. Keep taking the blue pill and believe in the bullshit and go to college and get your student loan debt and be a slave for the rest of your life, or wake the fuck up. And that hasn't changed. That was still the hardest question. The hardest problem I ever faced was trying to figure out what was wrong with me, to realize there was nothing wrong with me, not to sound like an after school special. No, society was wrong. Society is fucked up. Society is mentally ill. And and what's great about it, Dre, is as time has gone on, people are slowly, I mean, you Americans, the special needs people of the world, even you guys are slowly waking up and realizing just how much society lied to you. Right, millennials? I got a book called How Not to Become a Millennial. And it isn't so slamming on the millennial, though it does slam on the millennials when it's appropriate, when you've made bad decisions. But you were lied to about everything in your lives, right? But still to this day, you vote to put the people in power. You believe in the solutions. The people that screwed you over, Democrats, leftists, teachers, you still believe in that religion they taught you. But using millennials as an example, you could see where society is wrong. And the individual, in theory, would be right. That's if you would fully reject the socialist bullshit you were taught. But you guys like, oh boy, I would have nothing else in life. Well, you could hit the gym and find love. Whoa, that's effort. And the Democrats said that I don't have to work. I'm like, have fun living in your hell. Have fun living in your miserable fucking hell. Politics aside, though, the thing I like about it, I even mentioned it in the video, is back in the day, we didn't have the internet. There was no alternative, right? There was one movie playing in the movie theater, and it was do what the baby boomers tell you. Follow your heart, money will follow. You're perfect just the way you are. It's on the inside that counts. All that fucking horseshit. Lying about, oh, Republicans are evil and bad. The media. I mean, Rush Limbaugh was one of the first red pill guys. Tom Likas, one of the first red pill guys. Way back in there. Before the internet and analog. That's way more impressive now than what we just share. Oh my God. Hypergamy. Did you know? Thanks St. Rollo for that one. So when we didn't have the internet, it was really hard to get alternative ideas and explanations and thoughts, right? Imagine what it was like trying to fix a car back in the day. You didn't have YouTube to show you how to do it. You had to ask some pissed off, grumpy mechanic who didn't want to show you how to do it because they were too busy fixing cars themselves and getting paid. Anyway, never ask never ask boomer fathers or men to help. Those are the ones that got rid of training programs. They didn't want to help anyone. So you had to figure it out without the internet, without 4K video. And in my life to this day, yeah, that was the most damaging, costly, painful, the biggest problem in my life. In part because it affected everything. It was total. It affected the most important things in my life, and you were confused. The confusion was the worst part. Like, what am I doing wrong? Kept trying this, kept trying that. I think we saw the last vestiges of that in like the aughts, where mystery was like, oh, I'm going to paint your fingernails and wear a crazy hat. Like, think how many rocks you had to unturn or turn over to find the problem, that you're getting to the point that I'm going to paint my fingernails, which I understand back in the day that was not the intention. But that's how, instead of saying, yeah, if this is what women respond to, fuck them. There's something wrong with all women, all in the West anyway, or the United States, wherever mystery was doing his thing. No, you girls are the ones with the problem. You really are. You're more attractive to criminals. You want to arrest Daniel Penny. You want to go and work and pay taxes and commute and go into debt instead of, I don't know, raise your kids. And if you have kids, you don't want to raise them out. No, you're wrong. Right? But we can say that now because we stop and we have the internet say, instead of worrying about the media, the traditional media coming after you like Tommy Lauren, we're like, fuck you. We got the internet now. We all think the same way. Get the fuck out of here. I just did the video before this one is a gal stood a guy up. Well, she might have. I remember back in the day, like women would just come up with to spare your feelings and not tell you the truth. People would come up with the biggest lies. Why did a girl stand you up? Legit. My mom said, well, she might have got hit by a truck. I'm like, and that was, this is analog days. That was the one I'm like, no, this is bullshit. Remember that? The girl would say, maybe it doesn't happen to you kids nowadays, but well, you never know. She might be in the hot. You didn't have cell phones, right? That you had to be by your phone to pick it up. Well, they wouldn't call you. They wouldn't show up. All right, what's going on? Are we still on for tonight? All that other shit. Well, you never. And then came not the speculation, not, well, she didn't want to go out with you, or she's just an irresponsible adult child. I mean, she also doesn't want to go out with you, right? Then would come the lies, the excuses. Oh, well, you know what? Maybe she's in the hospital. Oh, you never said maybe an emergency happened. Sure, hell of a lot of emergencies happening to women in their 20s back in those days. They were the most accident-prone, hospital visiting group of people. Just like Friday, Saturday night, because that's back in the day when you'd have the time off. Man, there was a lot of women getting hit by trucks in those days. You'd have to look out. Like, maybe we should just stay in. Maybe I'll rent a video and I'll stop by at your place. Don't go out. We hear trucks are just mowing down 20-something women on Friday and Saturday night. So yeah, but today now it's nowhere near as bad. I think it's one of the reasons the Republicans won. Not to say that that's valuable unto itself. I'm sure that there's been a sea change, especially within the black community. Black men, maybe not black women, but definitely within the black male community. You guys are waking the fuck up. You're like, fuck this shit. I don't want to be poor no more. You probably couldn't care less what Democrats or Republicans are telling, but you're starting to realize the Democrats definitely turned your women against you. Definitely made your women hate you. Surprise. So the what I love seeing is that the analog powers that be, whether it was the media, the teachers, your parents, or the naivete, right? Trying to be popular. We're popular. That cult is quickly being eroded away. You can speak your mind on the internet. We can start pointing out that the emperor has no clothes and no one's confused anymore, or at least they're not as confused as they used to be. And again, shout out to Thinking Ape. He's the first one who made the point. There's not there will always be some red pill rage, but nowhere near as much, not to talk about as Gen X, because we're the ones that made the transition, where we found out it was a lie all the time. And now Zoomers and millennials, like you guys know, you just search it on the internet, right? I don't have to go get a Chilton manual. I don't have to ask dad, how do I fix this? I go on the internet, I look it up. I don't get frustrated. I don't wander the desert for 40 years. Yeah. And so now we're starting to see, for whatever socio psychological, political, economic reasons, America anyway has been going down this path of bullshit in all things, virtue signaling, hating on the nuclear family, hating men, worshiping people's traits, um, the obsessive cult with college. People are starting to wake up and say, "No, we're not doing that." Especially boys. You boys are waking up. You're not going to college as much because you know it's a bad deal. A lot of you, more of you, are going to trades. Um, more people just a lot of guys are just dropping out and not working. Like, fuck this, we're not working. Girls, you still believe the bullshit. You're still going to college for worthless shit. You're still going into debt for worthless shit. I don't. Maybe you got to see the baby boomer feminists, like, they're dying, and you look at their lives, it's miserable. Do you need to see, I guess, a younger person? Do you need to see Greta Thunberg live her entire life in misery before you say, "Oh, wow, this whole worshiping the government, environmentalism, and touchy-feel-good bullshit, and defining our existence on we're at least not men, we're fighting against the patriarchy." I mean, maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe that leads to misery. I don't know when you girls are gonna wake up. I don't know when you're gonna I don't know how many times we gotta show you the emperor has no clothes, but that's a you problem, it's not our problem. But people are slowly waking up. People are, some like cases, rapidly waking up. And that's why I like to see. I like to see that no one will be as confused as we were in the past. There's not gonna be this 73-year-old baby boomer who's now on his 4th divorce. "Oh, what did I do wrong? I happy wife, happy life." Like, there's a generation of men whose lives are just wasted trying to figure out what women wanted, and it cost them everything. It cost them their families, their money, their lives, their youth, their middle-agedness, their health, cost them everything. Not saying we're gonna go back to Eisenhower 1950s America, but that confusion is at least gone. And of above all else, what I love about it now, let me tell you something, it's great getting middle age. Um, that whole popularity cult, I love seeing the people who believe it, because popularity wasn't about reality and what right long-term choices were to be made. It was to do current popular things so that other people would like you. Which basically meant piss away a lot of money on shit that was gonna go out of fashion or be obsolete, or, just wear out in 5 to 10 years. And seeing it by about half a century year old, and especially with the internet, uh, accompanying the band, you're starting to see that whole do what's popular, do what's right. Just these people are failures. They're fucking miserable failures. And yeah, I caught a lot of shit for being different. And so probably did you too. What was it? There was a was he a client, or this story could be told a million times over. Young black dude wanted to get out of the ghetto, and he decided It wasn't the military, it was go to college, it was something else. I can't remember if this guy was telling me the story, was a client or something else. But the community was like, "How dare you? How dare you improve yourself?" I think black men are getting sick of that shit. I think we're all starting to stand up to the, "Oh, you shouldn't say that." That's where the community comes after us. Yeah, maybe women ought to be thin. You couldn't say that 15 years ago. Well, you could say it any time, but there'd be a tremendous backlash. Now we're just kind of like, yeah, fuck you. We're just get tired of your plus size models and your fat mannequins. Fuck you. Now there's no, you could come in and super hypersonic re all you want. No one's believing it anymore because men are sick and tired of fat. You girls are sick and tired of the fat soy boy men too, right? So men will take the constructive criticism. Anyway, black community, young black man wants to get out, crabs in the bucket, men getting sick and tired of unattractive, unfeminine women. We can actually say these things now. I got to imagine within the black community, there's enough of you where it's like, yeah, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go whatever, military, GI Bill, or become a tradesman or something like that. Your brother or your cousin, well, you think you're better than me? You can say, yeah, fuck you. Actually, I am better than you. Get the fuck out of here. No, no, let's wallow in poverty another couple generations, shall we? Let's stay here. This is great. Yeah. Um, so then you asked so did your opinion change? No. If so, for the better or worse? No, I mean, there's been other issues coming up. Like, they don't, I got my second biggest problem and my third biggest problem, but they don't hold a candle to that one. Right now, my biggest problem is I don't know what to do with the leisure. Things finally have stabilized and I got a little bit of money coming in and all my efforts in the past have paid off. And it's weird. Like you're not going into this, say, as a 10-year-old boy with school and all that. You come out of it. What do you want to do when you're a 10-year-old boy? What do you want to go play in pond and frogs and now I don't know how to have fun anymore. Like, summertime. Oh, summer vacation. Oh, I knew what to do. I knew what to do. Now it's all right if you play Pirate Yakuza for hours. It's okay if I don't go to the gym. It's okay if I were to go and have a cinnamon roll or go play poker or what. Like, I could sit on my ass the rest of my life being debauched, and it's perfectly fine because I've saved, quote, the money up for it. I don't have FU money, but the expenses are so low. And you're like, you can't. You've just been through too many. That's a problem many of you are going to face. That's a newer one. I don't know if there's a solution for it. Chad and Atham, I got a solution. Yeah, I know your solution, guys. Benzos, you can't do benzodiazepines anymore because what's his name? He almost killed Jordan Peterson. Alcohol, man, that was a great tool. It is a great tool. If you can handle it, I can't handle it. Well, actually, I handle my booze too well. That's a great dude. That just knocked me out for the remaining 30 years of my life. Just chill out, man. But yeah, that's the latest problem, which is a great problem to have and does not compare sending out 500 resumes. Why can't I find a job? Yeah, I'll get. You guys want a perfect example for you young people so you understand what I'm talking about? Right now, do you actually think it's your fault you can't find a job? Let's say you're not a pothead and you've gone to college, you got a good degree, good GPA, right? You sent out 500 resumes and you've gotten no interviews. That's not you. You should not feel bad at all if you're not getting any interviews because what's wrong is the entire labor market or the employer system is wrong. First, you got HR Karens who are lying and just they're despicable, vile people. They're liars. So the information again is wrong. They're not responsible or reliable. They're throwing resumes away they shouldn't. They're posting fake, not just HR, but different companies are posting fake job postings out there to go and get people's data and information. We still have progressive credentialism where these employers require ridiculous amounts of education for an entry level job. They don't pay you a living wage and none of them they never get back to you. This is the same way back in my day. It is not your fault. It's their fault. This is why me and everybody else really encourage you all to get a really good degree in a really good field so you can avoid all this shit or the trades. And then also get to self-employment as quickly as possible. This is not acceptable. This is like a fat, loud woman from Minnesota who has AIDS and herpes lecturing you about how you should be so lucky to fuck her. And you don't know anybody. Like, well, what else do I got to do? I gave you all my money. I let a bunch of immigrants in, and I cut off my toe. You didn't kiss the ring. And it's like, hey, I got a better idea. Maybe the fat, loud, AIDS, herpes infected Minnesota woman is wrong, and you should just leave. It's not you, man. That's what the job market is right now. I mean, it doesn't solve the problem, but you know what it does solve? It solves the stress. It solves the confusion. It's not you. And that would have if I could figure out what is and is not my fault, that would have made things a lot easier mentally for me. Yeah, I still would have had to work. Yeah, same. The money and the finances wouldn't change, but the confusion would not. I wouldn't have been sitting there, whatever, at the jazz club waiting for my date to show. What did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? I wouldn't have wasted so much time, taking Fridays off to go on a date. I wouldn't have wasted all my time in school. I wouldn't have thought there was something wrong with me. I wouldn't have constantly nitpicked every possible trait, variable, and aspect of my life until I realized, yeah, you know what? It isn't the color of my tie that is preventing me success in corporate America or success with whatever. Society is wrong. You're all wrong. Go fuck yourselves. And people are starting to wake up to that. People are starting to wake up. Reen, 5. Oh, so link below. What do I got? Zero world problems, new standards of living in a post-materialist economy. This is basically how to get your standards of living up very quickly without relying on other people. Things you can do. Here's a checklist in the back. If you're looking for purpose and like something to tangibly do, right? We're in a weak economy, maybe not a recession, but a weak economy. Employers are never going to give you the money you need or the opportunity you need to succeed in life. Stop waiting for them. Go build your own damn house. Go learn to fix your own damn car. All that stuff right there. Make some progress. And then, my Amazon affiliate link, if you would kindly. You can go to the Amazon affiliate link, but the URL is that long. So I just have a link to it on one of my other websites called olderbrother.com. So you go to olderbrother.com/donate. You see the Amazon image. You click on it. You do your shopping. You don't have to log in beforehand. Yes, you have to do it on the computer. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. And you go to olderbrother.com/donate. Say, oh my God, this site isn't secure. It's because I haven't done the security certificate. It's fine. The website's a stupid, I think, Wix page. It's fine. You're okay. And it doesn't cost you anything or more. All right, Reen, $5. Ladies, there's a bunch of men rotting in LA. Pack up and heads down. There's your guys holding Mexican flags. Have fun. Yeah, I'm getting tired myself. Yeah, ladies, there's a bunch of guys down there that you'll probably want to date. They're great guys and great gals. Lou Aram, $5. Only when the blinders come off does your journey begin. Correct. Oh, dude, whether it's leaving the church, leaving the community, leaving college or the education system, leaving your little fucking socialist virtue signaling woke cult. Think about that. Think about, in spite of having the internet for 20, 25 years, can you imagine all the woke people? I only mention this because of the video game and movie industry. Like, they still believe the bullshit. They still think that if we just, have 1 part vagina, 2-part minority skin color, 3 parts not straight sexual preference, why aren't people buying our movie? John Della Rose, he follows the science fiction, the Swiffy, the science fiction's writers league, I believe it's called. And none of them, it's been taken over by a bunch of woke leftists. None of these people are authors. None of them have any successes. What's that like? You're playing make believe. I'm working for this nonprofit. I'm not an author, but I'm in charge of this author subsection genre. And what do you do, right? Your LARP is the only thing you have in life when you get to play make believe literature expert. But then your real life is shit. You're not making money on that. You got to go home. You got to apply for all the different welfare and assisted livings. You're poor. No one likes hanging out with you because you're a LARPer. You're fake. You think the most important thing about you is the way you were born. You have no core. You have no soul. You have no humanity. You're parasitic by your nature, right? What's that like? That like, and they still believe the teachers. They still believe the professors. Like, you're brilliant and amazing the way you are. Remember the poster, Women Are Perfect? That only works on the internet or in your nonprofit employer. The rest of your life is shit. They still believe, and they'll go to what you think Greta Thunberg and David Hogg. Do you think these are happy people? They're going to believe that bullshit to the grave, and they're going to be miserable because no one's going to want to hang out with them. I roll, therefore I am. 20 generous Canadian daughters. 20 generous Canadian daughters. Yeah, hey, I roll. Let's get cracking. Come on, man. 20 generous Canadian daughters. 20 generous Canadian dollars. Okay, you caught me. I'm the crazy truck driver who was running over the girls you asked about. I roll, are you even old enough to be back in the 80s and 90s? And put them in the hospital. Sheryl Sandberg paid me a bonus for each girl I kept away from a date. I mean, yeah, look at that. Sheryl Sandberg. Have you guys read Brittany Renner or Brittany Renners? Any one of these women in like the 20 teens, the late 20 teens, the most popular feminist books? Like, read. I know that they are horrible. Not because I disagree with them. I mean, I disagree with them. I guess they're horrible in that own regard, but they are so poorly written and mentally ill. Those are the most popular books. Now, let me ask you something. Look at Brittany Renner right now. Didn't she go through another divorce? She joined Islam for a hot 5 minutes, insulted everybody there. Look at everyone who read those books, including the people who wrote the books themselves. We like hate. There it is. Our entire life value is the fact we're not men, and we're going to hate the people we're not like, and that's our value. Like, you're mentally ill. And then how good of a standard of living? You're wrong. So there are people who still believe society is right. And as so far that society is your teachers, professors, mainstream media, Democrat Party, leftist politics, corporate America, not corporate America, corporate media. Femboy Fantasia, $2. Can't be so short he could barely see over me. I don't know, how tall are you there, Femboy? Joe Spinella, 10 generous dollars. Society is fucked. 43 here and late to the party financially by society's norms. Right. Here's another, guys, look. It's every major and minor decision. But think about this. Society is still like, you got to get married. You got to do the right thing. You got to put a ring on it. Look at the TradCon still holding on to that bottle of cancer. You better get married. No, you're wrong. I hate to, because Dennis Prager, who else? Matt Walsh, all those TradCons. These are intelligent men. Ben Shapiro, not disagreeing with any of them on an overall, but in today's world, you're wrong. That's it. There's no debate to be had. There's no discussion. You are wrong about marriage in America today. You're wrong. That's it. And we can disagree to disagree and go each other's way. And then my team is going to avoid the fucking fallout of that. And then 1 in 8, 1 in 9, no, 1 in 8 are going to have what you guys want. And the remaining 7 and 8 are going to be miserable or divorced. Society is wrong. The individual is right. But there's an increasing number of men who realize, yeah, marriage is stupid, is bullshit. There's another perfect example where the individual is right and society is wrong. And even society can't keep, after a while, you can't keep this up. Yeah, fat, large, lesbian, black women in wheelchairs. Maybe we shouldn't make Marvel movies about them. Maybe that should not be our lead for every single movie protagonist. Maybe we ought to maybe we should back off on that a little bit. Maybe we shouldn't have a dude dressed as a woman selling our beer. Maybe we should. Yeah, you're right. It's great watching older men get divorced. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and even they're admitting now, yeah, the emperor has no clothes. Don't get married. Yeah, we saw your body just go like that. Like in Saving Private Ryan, we saw that happen. We don't need to. We're not. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. But we saw what happened to you. We know not to. Don't swim in that pond with the alligators. There's Matt Walsh. You should go swimming in the pond with the alligator. A real man would swim in the pond with alligators. Are the alligators hungry? 43 here and late to the party financially by society's norm, but I'm fucking here and I've always felt like I've been against the grain my whole life. Society as it is can get fucked. Yep, it is. And they are. I mean, I've seen, dude, I saw it in baking. You can see it in Castle Rock. Go read go. American Beauty was ahead of its time. It's all slowly falling apart, right? You're all of you who kept up the facade, you did the popular thing, it's all falling apart because we're starting to see where popularity leads and leads to failure. I just wonder if you guys have another god to pursue. Really? Do you guys have a god to pursue aside from being popular and saying the popular thing? Do you? Reen, I got freedom. I got everything in this book. Reen, $5 again. Society and people in charge don't deserve the goodwill of men nor the real work of men. Right. That's why men are dropping out. Labor force participation rate is going down. I still don't see any cheerleaders / women in society because there's still the individual. Individuals can find out society is wrong. That doesn't mean they understand why society is wrong and diagnose the question correctly and come up with a solution. That's several other steps. I think a lot of women know that. Well, Reen, perfect example. Look at the mainstream media's reaction. They know something wrong. Men aren't working. Oh my God, men are applying for disability, mental disability. What do we got to do? They're at the stage where they know something's wrong, but they have not come up to correctly diagnose it. Yeah, we treat men like shit. Women are fat, is disagreeable. You might find that definitely does demoralize men. We keep divorcing them, and they don't have no children, and we tax them, right? I'm sure there's some other reasons. Those are the main ones. They haven't diagnosed that problem correct, and therefore they haven't gotten to the solution, which is maybe women should be nice to men and occasionally fuck them. Again, not saying that women owe men that. The individuals have to come to that arrangement, but they're like, oh my God, that's the solution. Or maybe we could just cheer men on. Maybe instead of having fat, unfuckable pigs on our Calvin Klein ads or men wearing fucking diapers, we put in hot chicks and stand them next to our, like Harley Davidson. Oh, we got an electric vehicle. Hey, I got an idea. How about you put some hot chicks in bikinis next to the Harley Davidsons and have an entry level below $10,000 motorcycle that young people can afford. How about you try that? Whoa! And then they always get Professor Fuckwitz to come in. Like, you see, we just need more government programs. And we need to teach men that being male is toxic and they don't have to be men. Vic, 10 euros. Knowing English saved my life as I know how fucked Italy is. The media doesn't say that salaries haven't changed for 30 years and that's all collapsing. They turned a world power into a crap hole. Find your small little Vic. I would again travel, man. Get out, go travel, right? If you speak English and you're an accountant, check out Eastern Europe. If I was in Europe, I'd be traveling all the time. I'd be hopping on them trains and going. Like I don't envy Europe for many things, but one thing I envy is I can hop on a train and be in Central Europe depending on where you are, but I could hop on a train from Germany and be kind of anywhere in Europe in what, 7, 8 hours? I'm in Prague. Oh my God. Hey, we're in, I don't know. I'd like to check out the Baltics in summer. Truth sets you free, $10. How can I know you're going to live ahead of time? I like to send super chats, but hate coming into the convo late. Tried notifications, didn't work. I don't know when I'm going live. I wake up. One of the best things in my life is the complete flexibility I have. Like, I'm gonna go to the gym, or I'm gonna work on the car, or I'm gonna play video games. I don't have an agenda or an itinerary or agenda. So I don't know. So there's no way to know. As for notifications coming in, that is actually a computer science nightmare because I looked into it. Why aren't people getting notifications? There's like 4 notification settings between me YouTubing and your phone, which I presume is what you're listening to. There is your YouTube account, right? You have to subscribe to my channel. Then on your YouTube account, when you subscribe to my channel, you must go in and turn notifications on. Then on your phone, on your YouTube app, you must turn notifications on. And then on your actual phone, not the app that's on your phone, but the phone itself saying, do you want to give permissions to notifications for the YouTube app? So there's 4 notification on toggle switches you got to do to get notified. And it sucks. It sucks. Femboy, $2. Bruise needs knees to succeed in corporal land. Yep. I hate to, again, I don't like being the economist, but sex is what drives the economy, and that is a currency. You can get male labor with sex, and that's what marriage and courtship and more. This isn't to say women can't work and there isn't real GDP produced. Not all of the economy is based on sex, but yes, if you want to motivate men, unfortunately, you're going to have to accept and realize that men are primarily motivated by female youth and beauty, i.e. sex. And ladies, that's your problem to figure out whether you want to well, I don't want to. Well, you don't have to. You're obviously no guy is going to want that to happen. But if you don't complain when there ain't no electricity. Don't complain when you got to pay $800 to a man to fix your car because you didn't learn. I gave the salute. Where is it? Here. A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. There's 3 options women have. You girls can go and be the tradesman and build your own electricity and all of this stuff, but that's hard. You can keep doing what we're doing now, where you do like 30% of the real GDP out there, more like 20% of the real GDP out there, and we keep printing off money to make up for the welfare state and all that, and inflation kicks in, and it's just this malaise. All right, we can do it, and the electricity is on, but costs are always going up, and your wages don't keep track. Or we could go back to traditionalism, where you get rid of the welfare state, you get men's in charge, or at least men are the money makers, you support the house, and you reward him with sex and children and a family and love and kindness. It's up to you. It's your life, ladies. You get to choose whichever one you want, but you only get to choose from those 3. There is no 4th option. Reen, $5. Where'd it go? Oh, hang on. Oh, there it is. There. Oh, there. What the hell happened? $5. If you read The Fall of the Roman Empire, we're honestly just speed running it. That's actually kind of hilarious. Did you learn nothing, you fool? No, we did. It's the Heinlein cycle. Easy men, good times, weak men, bad times, strong men. That thing. We're just in the perpetual good times, weak men. You know whose problem it is? The future, not mine. Cappy didn't have kids. Cappy didn't have kids. Flip your lids. Watch some vids. Cappy didn't have kids. Cappy never wanted kids. Joe Spinella, $5. Sam Kinison taught me about love. Oh my God, that outdates me a little bit. I didn't watch Sam Kinison. He was just him and the other guy who's overrated. Everyone go, oh, you like this guy? And I watch some of his stuff. I'm like, okay. All right, that's it. Check out this book, A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. 0 world problems. Stop caring what other people say. Go live your life. And we'll see you guys later. Toodles.